No problem. Sure.
Great. Take it away, Yuval.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, it's nice to meet you guys. Well, I'm a bit excited, to speak in front of so many people now, although it's only Zoom, but So I've been asked by Jonathan to speak a little bit about myself, my background, my companies, what I'm currently doing, and let's see how it goes. So we are a group of companies owned by my family, from high tech to real estate all around Europe and Israel. And back then in 2007, we decided to move most of our development to Israel for many reasons, some of them Zionist reasons. That was my first jump into business. I originally opened my first business to provide services internally for our group of companies. We provided software development services in many kind of technologies. And after a while, we started to provide services in Israel to other companies. Currently, we work with many sectors in Israel, with banks, with insurance companies, with the military, with the Misrad HaBitachon. I don't know how to say Misrad HaBitachon in English, Jonathan. Maybe you can translate it.
Misrad HaBitachon, the Defense Department.
Good. Okay. Many startup companies, many high-tech companies. And 10 years ago, I opened a startup company with 3 partners. It was very interesting. We started in the garage. We didn't have an office at the beginning. I was the CEO of the company at the initial phase. And then after we gathered some money from VCs, I couldn't handle it anymore because I had to manage so many things in parallel. So I had to let it go and to give the good job to my partners. The company went public 6 months ago.
Congratulations.
Baruch Hashem, successfully.
Oh, beautiful.
And in NASDAQ. And yeah, it's a real pleasure for us, having this kind of thing specifically in Israel. And I decided lately to focus only on helping the Haredi community in Israel overcome the obstacles, which I see as obstacles, joining the high-tech industry in Israel. So I'm joining the ministry and all the companies in Jerusalem that assist the Haredi community. And this is basically what we do on a daily basis. We work with a lot of universities and colleges in Israel, in one hand, and in the other hand, we have a lot of connections with the industry, the Israeli industry, and that's what we basically do on a daily basis. I divide my day into 2 major aspects. At the first half of the day, I'm sitting and learning in my kollel with Chavruta, which is an amazing guy that I admire. Now he's my rabbi. He wasn't my rabbi at the beginning, but now I really admire him. And in the second half of the day, I'm trying to do business as much as I can. And the rest of the day is for my wife and kids. So I hope I will. I hope I allocate enough time for the kids and my wife, you know. But this is a very major aspect of my my life currently because I have little kids. So that's it. That's my story in short.
Where did it start, Yuval? Where are you from, and what's your educational background?
Well, I started. I wasn't Haredi all my life. I grew up in as Dati Leumi in Jerusalem, so I got you know, the regular Israeli education, you know, in high school, and then I went to army. 3 years in Navy, and then when I finished the army, I went to learn software engineering in Jerusalem, and then I did another degree in the business management. So basically I have, well, the business management was a waste of time, but the, but the software engineering was really, you know, it gave me a real push, you know, to be able to manage this kind of business as I manage now, definitely.
And the company that just went public, what does the company do?
The company name is WalkMe.
Yes.
Have you heard of WalkMe?
On your resume, I read about it a little bit.
Okay. So basically WalkMe is well, it's a bit hard for me, you know, to describe it in English because I'm used to do it in Hebrew. So I have, you know, I have to translate you know, the words, the correct wording inside my head. But what I will try to describe what we solve in WalkMe, and then it will be easier for me to describe it in English. We noticed that many of the websites and the web applications are not being used correctly and not efficiently, and that's why a lot of companies were using movies. Like no, flash movies, exactly. So I had a call and I had to decline the call. So they're using flash movies to describe how to do certain processes in websites. And after you watch this kind of movie, you have to remind yourself, what did I watch and what did I see? And then I have to, you know, do all the processes that I saw in the movie. So what we developed is a tool that allows you to see pop-ups in the screen and showing you the exact processes that you need to do for certain, you know, it depends on the websites and on the application. So currently, all SaaS applications or all SaaS companies are using WalkMe, Salesforce and Bank of America, and you know, I don't think that there is currently any SaaS solution that is not using WalkMe. So it's that's basically the solution. We originally started in Israel, but very fast we moved to the American, you know, we moved to America and then to Europe. We currently have approximately 1,000 employees all around, most of them in Israel, 30% in San Francisco, in America.
Fascinating success story.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem. It's you know, it's a bless from God. You know, it's not me. I don't understand why it happened. Seriously, it's a real bless from Hashem. Baruch Hashem.
That's a fantastic idea.
Sorry.
That's a great idea, though.
It is. It wasn't my idea originally.
Whoever's idea it was, great idea.
Yeah, it is. Baruch Hashem.
Tell us about your activities in Israel with the Haredi community. How does it, it's a one-on-one thing or it's programs with the government? What is it exactly?
Well, the government is very supporting the Haredi community. They really want the Haredi community to join the industry. Their interest is not our interests, definitely. Their interests are mainly financial interests, which is really understood. But our interest is mainly different. I mean, we really want the Haredi community, or the Haredi women's and men's that would like to join the industry, to have the ability to be compensated as they should. And the government is supporting the industry, supporting the companies that wants to have Haredi employees. And it's inspiring, it's fascinating, it's exciting, it's amazing what's going on in Israel currently. And I forecast that in the coming years, we will see thousands of employees, Haredi employees, joining the high-tech industry. There is a lack of 15,000 employees in Israel. And they are going to India, they are going to Bulgaria, they are going to other areas because we need manpower, and we currently don't have this manpower in Israel. And what I'm aiming to is to tell the government and the industry, guys, we have these people here, just have to know how to train them correctly and to compensate them correctly, and that's it. It's a bingo. So it's working nice now, not as I want, but we are doing dramatic things now. Also investing a lot of efforts in marketing. I'm almost every day I'm joining meetings with government people and with bank administrators and executives, and with the army and with the Misrad HaBitachon. And we work with Rafael also, and we work with other many. I'm sorry, I don't hear you.
No, go ahead. You're telling us about your integration with industry. So when you meet with Rafael or the government, what's the point? How does it work? You go to individuals and help them get jobs, or it's training programs, or what is it exactly?
I'll tell you a story. Last week, I had a very interesting meeting with one of the executives in Elbit, which is a company that develops instruments for armies. They have 16,000 employees all around the world. It's it's a huge company, and they are currently looking for approximately 1,000 developers that they want them to join the company, and they cannot. They don't have the manpower. So I'm working with them to build a system that we will be able to take junior developers from the academic and train them like what you do in cyber. And immediately after that, they can join Elbit. So one of my main goals is definitely the religious aspect. We are not running a business for business only. It's very important for us, especially for me and my partners and my employees, my CEO, my VPs. It's very, very important for us to have my success story will be if another call now. I declined the call, sorry. My goal, my dream is to have my employees telling me, when I joined your company, I was in this level, and then I'm in this level. I'm not speaking about professional level. I'm speaking about religious level. And it's a real goal. And, you know, because I was not raised as a Haredi in Israel, so I have the guts, you know, to say it and, you know, to tell the guys, you know, you're a Haredi. What are you doing? Why are you doing this and that? I mean, you shouldn't. And, you know, it's, for me, you know, it's, I have to, you know, to לחזור בתשובה on a daily basis. So I'm trying, you know, I'm trying to influence my employees also, you know, to be in the same mode. So you're doing Kiruv along with the job training, full service. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm trying, you know, I'm trying to do Kiruv, I'm trying, but first I have to, you know, I have to lekarev myself first, you know, trying. I hope I will, I'm doing what I, you know, I hope, hopefully, Bezrat Hashem. I'm still not a Rosh Kollel, you know, Reb Jonathan. Bezrat Hashem, who knows?
Yes.
No,
Yuval, one of the things we find is that, and I've seen this in a number of industries in Israel, and maybe it's true all over the world, but particularly in Israel, there's a shortage of nurses, but in order to become a nurse, you have to do a certain amount of stage. And the nurses who are senior have no time to give to the junior nurses. So we can't train new nurses, so we suffer from a nurses shortage. And the same thing in cybersecurity. We need hands on the keyboard, but we don't have time to teach new people, and we can't take juniors at entry level. So we just suffer from the shortage. And the same thing a little bit what you're talking about with Elbit and their shortage of people, but it's still really hard for beginners or entry level people to break in because of the training that they don't have, and the companies are too busy to give them any training. So we're in a little bit of a catch-22. How do you deal with that problem?
You don't have any option. Listen, when my customers are looking for new employees, so the first priority is a brilliant developer that finished the Israeli army. Okay, this is the first priority. So how many do we have of those? You know, in any certain period, we have maybe 50, maybe 40. So when we finish this first priority, we move to the second priority and to the third priority. And, you know, so they don't have any other option. They understand, the Israeli industry understand that if we would like as an industry to solve the shortage of manpower in Israel, we must train the juniors and make sure they are joining our companies. Otherwise, we will not have any. And more than that, you know, the government executive says there is no future for the Israeli high tech without the Haredi community. I'm not saying that; they are saying that. Mm-hmm. You know. So yeah. They understand that they don't have any other option. We have limited amount of experienced Haredi developers in Israel. Most of them are already working. If you want the Haredi community to join the race, I would say, so you have to make a move. So Intel is doing a move, Amdocs is doing the move, Elbit is doing the move, the government is doing a lot of moves. It's really moving. It's really, really moving. Someone asked me a question in the chat. I forgot the question. So if you can write it again. Are the salaries competitive with American companies? No.
True answer.
No.
Yuval,
no.
I want to ask.
But the salaries are very competitive with the Israeli companies. It's very, very hard to compete with the American salaries. But definitely the compensation packages for the Haredis are aiming to be the same like the other non-Haredis in Israel. But you cannot pretend, you know, to have the same salaries as in America. It will not, you know.
Yuval, Shmuel asked a question, and I want to add to his question. His question is about resistance in the Haredi community. And I want to add to that about overcoming the educational gap of people who haven't been exposed to high school mathematics or English language if they got a yeshiva education. So what do you do about that?
You're asking two questions. If there is a resistance from the rabbis in Israel or the gaps that we have to overcome due to the low academic level or low, I would say, low level, in math and other. So what's the question? Last week, we got a call from the head of Ponovich Yeshiva. And he called the CEO of the company, which is a native Israeli. And he asked him if we can take his granddaughter, to the company. She just finished. She just finished the school, and he wants her to join a startup company, which is very Haredi. So. Definitely the community in Israel understands, the Haredi community understand that. Sorry, again, the Haredi in Israel understand that the financial future is in the high-tech industry, definitely. So if you ask every Haredi girl, what do you want to do when you will, so she will definitely say, I would like to join the high-tech. Do not want to be a nurse. I do not want to be a teacher. I would like to join the high-tech. Answering the first question, if there is a resistance from the industry, less and less. We are moving more. The atmosphere in Israel is moving more, is getting closer to what you face in Europe and the United States, like the Haredi community in the States or in Europe. Most of the Haredi people are working, except some Yechidei Sgula that are not working, which is understood. So definitely the Haredi community in Israel is moving slowly to this direction. I do not face any resistance, not in the Haredi community. And what's interesting is that I don't see any resistance from the industry. Okay, they really want the Haredi community to join the industry. Really, really wants to. Which is really, it's fascinating me, to meet this guy and meet these guys and providing them with a positive side of the Haredi community.
Yes. I just would like to corroborate that, Yuval, that has been our experience also, where we've taken our students and the interaction that we've had between the teachers and the companies that have hired our graduates. A lot of them admitted that they had a stigma about Haredim, that they thought they were from another planet, and a lot of, not nice words. But when they found themselves teaching a class of them or interacting with them in a professional environment, it was a total awakening for them that, hey, these are smart Jewish people that I can relate to. And so I believe that is spreading as more and more Haredim are in the workplace in Israel and elsewhere. So people learn that they're human beings. And so that's a really important process that we also are experiencing and believe in and are really devoted to. So it's really refreshing and nice to meet a like-minded person who's working hard to advance this really important cause. And it's such an important cause, not only for the Haredi community, but of course for Israel and its economy, which will collapse if the Haredi community does not, integrate to a certain degree. So it's really, really important. And I do think there's a lot of recognition of that all around. I think although there is resistance, definitely there are pockets of resistance within the Haredi community, but I think a lot of the young people, my kids who are like in Koilel or in Yeshiva Gedola, they're thinking about this, and the young men are thinking about this, and like, what's going to be with me? And my dad was an Avreich, and so I'm also going to be an Avreich, and my kids will be an Avreich, and Kesef Minalan, where's the Parnasa going to come from? So I agree with you that there is a slow but important trend. Like you said, Yechidei Skula, we need people learning Torah and keeping the world running. That's really important. And I have so much respect for what you're doing, that you're learning half a day and working and doing wonderful things. So it's really, really wonderful to meet a great person like you.
Thank you. It's appreciated. So you will excuse me, but I have to move to to another meeting now. So
thank you so much for sharing your time with us, Yuval. We hope to do good things together. We wish you much bracha ve'atzlacha b'kol inyanim.
You too. Thank you for your time. Take care.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.